Hey guys, I thought it would be fun to come on camera and do a little art project together. And I came across this and I thought it was so cute and it would be fun to do a video on this crystal garden. So I have everything already laid out here and I thought it would be fun to do this project together. So it may be several videos before we're finished growing our crystal garden, but I thought it would be fun to do a little adventure journey together. So starting out, what we have is it's called Crystal Garden Growing Kit. There is some copyright free music playing in the background. Let me turn that down. This is by the Relaxed Movement, and this is just some smooth jazz. Okay, so starting, I'm reading off of the paperwork here. Okay, with the instructions, it says before you start doing anything, basically what it's saying is, number one, that you have parental supervision. So if you're under this is for ages 8 and up, and so if you're a child watching this by any chance, which my videos are not meant for children, but just in case you are, I know that my little niece sometimes, Naomi, watches my videos, the appropriate ones anyways. So what it's saying is make sure that your parental permission, you have a clean space to work in that has lots of open air, free of clutter or messy things all around, and something that's well lit so you can see very well. Make sure you have an adult with you because we will be using chemicals. Never do this alone. Make sure there's lots of ventilation and make sure there's a water supply close. I've got a water supply right here. And it's saying that you should do this on a solid, steady space. So don't do this on the carpet, on the floor, or something like that. And then it says to make sure you clean up the area really, really good when you're done. Okay, so in this kit, what it comes with, and so it tells me step number 1, gather materials. So gathering all the materials from the box, this kit includes one tray base. So this is the tray base. This is what the tray base looks like. So we'll be growing our crystals on this as the base. Okay. 2 paper tree cutouts. So there's actually 4 of these here, but what you do is it takes 2 to make 1 tree. So you notice the circles here, the trees will sit into those areas. They're kind of made out of a thin cardboard. So we've got two trees, 2 crystal growing liquid packets. We've got 2 of those. 5 mini markers. We've got those right here. 1 bag of fox moss. So we've got that here. 1 bag of stones. We've got those here. 2 figurines. So we've got a little bunny rabbit figurine and, so cute, a little mushroom. So cute. I'll give you another peek real quickly at what the crystal garden's going to look like. All right. Okay, so step A says to prepare the trees. So it says to lay your tree cutouts on the table and color them with your markers any way you like. Wherever you color them, when the crystal grows, it will take on that color. Make sure you color both sides of each cutout. Okay, so I'm going to grab some paper towel. Okay, I'm going to pause for a moment while I prepare my space. I'm working with limited space here, so let me pause and I'll be right back. finished coloring the pieces that make the tree, we then need to build the tree. So I've already built one, and this is what it looks like. And so what you do is you slide the two pieces together, and I'm going to build one and show you. And then you have to bend the little branches around to make it look like a tree. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one there, and we're going to go ahead and do this one. Now it takes a little bit of finagling around, but each one of these comes with a slit in it. One has a slit on the top, one has a slit on the bottom, and you just slide those together until the two bottom pieces both meet on the bottom like that. So there you go. This is what it starts out like. Okay, then you take and you bend every other, okay, so you come to the branch and you bend it one way, and then the other way, and then the other that way, and the other this way, and like that. So it looks like that. Okay, and you go to the next branch and you do the same thing. You bend over one, the top one over, and go down to the bottom one. So I don't know if you can see how I'm doing that. Okay, then you go to the next branch and okay, so then your tree ends up looking sort of like this. Okay, and they stand up quite well. All right, so then we're going to take, okay, now the next directions, it says, okay, when completed, align the slots in the center and join them together. Now you have two trees. Bend the branches every other one to separate them. Lay down your tray base and insert each tree into the plus sign on the tray. Now you have two standing trees in the base, and you are ready to apply the liquid crystal grow. Okay, so here we are with the base, and we're going to take the trees here and fit them down into the base, hopefully. Okay, one of them's there. Nope. Okay, so now we have our base here. Okay, you guys, it tells the directions say to put the trees into the X's, put the crystal solution onto the trees, and then wait for 30 minutes and the crystals will start to grow, and then wait for 6 hours and they will be completely done. And then you can decorate the rest of it with your grass and stones and figurines. But it also says then be careful not to touch it, because they're really fragile and they'll fall apart. So I think I'm going to switch it up and go a different route, and I think I'm going to decorate the base first. Then I'm going to put the trees and do the crystal solution. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to switch things up just a little bit here. Okay, so I finished. I switched the rules up a little bit and I decorated the little thing before, I decorated the little garden before I put the trees in. Okay, there's the picture. All right. So now we're going to take our little trees and set them down into, well, we'll start with this one up here first. Now I had to cut these trees, I had to cut the tips off of right here all the way around so that they would actually fit into the slots, because they were not wanting to sit in the cutout slots. Okay, so there we go, we've got our trees. Okay, so the next part of the process is taking the crystal solution, and so I didn't use all the stones, I used about 2/3 on here, so I'm just going to use those for a different project. Each tree has its own liquid solution. So I'm going to find a safe spot to put these on and prepare something I can pick it, like a tray or something I can pick it up on, and I will be right back. Okay, so I have finished setting up the crystal garden, and here I have the trees set up. I have the little rabbit right up here next to the rock pile. This is what it looks like from above. And now we're going to do our crystal solution. Now, where did my scissors go? Okay, so now it's time to put the crystal solution on. So what it says to do is to cut one corner. We're going to do this one corner just a little bit. So there's just a little hole at the top of one corner. And then you take and you come to the top of the tree. That tree looks a little bit like it's tipping sideways. There we go. And you pour the solution onto the tree from the top down so that it soaks and so we're just going to do this. Okay. Now, the solution's going to run down and get into that little circle that the tree is sitting in. You're supposed to dump the solution down over the tree. Now, the solution, I think that's all of it. There we go. Okay, so now that tree is now done. So it should start forming crystals. It says it starts to work within 30 minutes, so we'll see. Okay, so now open up the second one and make sure, okay. And we're going to pour that over the tree, soaking the tree. As it goes down over the tree, it goes out to all the edges and it gets all the branches. Okay. All right. Okay. Both trees have the solution in them and it says 30 minutes. So we will see if in 30 minutes we have crystals growing. We'll be back. So this is about the 1 hour mark, and this is how much crystals have grown at the 1 hour mark. So you can see where some of them are taking on the color that I put in on the trees. Looks like blue is the one that's taking the color the best. But this is about 60 minutes after. Okay guys, so while we're watching our garden grow, let's talk about crystals. What exactly are crystals? Well, say the word crystal and we instantly swoon over the idea of glittering geodes and gems like soft pink rose quartz and amazing amethyst. But crystals show up everywhere in nature and aren't just linked to the colorful stones that cleanse our chakras. The main thing that crystals share is their crystal structure. The molecular structure of crystals is super well organized and it forms a grid-like pattern. Each atom or ion in the pattern has its place, and it's this respective layout that puts it under the category of crystal. This is found in everything, from a salt crystal to a sugar crystal to graphite to an ice crystal stashed inside of a snowflake, and, of course, the radiant quartz crystals that occupy our altars. We find the crystal shape and pattern scattered throughout nature.
And in fact, the word crystal even comes from an ancient Greek word, kristallos, which translates to both ice and crystal. Most of the minerals found in the natural world are found in crystal form, and shape also plays a part in the role of crystals. There are 7 basic shapes of crystals, also known as lattices. The shape of the crystal can vary, and the differences are a clue as to the repeating pattern happening within the internal arrangement of the atoms. Perfectly shaped crystals are tricky to find in nature, as you need a flat surface and ideal conditions for these to grow. For those who adore the idea of crystals being born from the earth over millions of years, crystallization that happens underground is super exciting. Deep beneath our feet, the Earth's crust is a whole new world. Some parts are 3 miles thick, and others are 25 miles thick, just sitting under the seabed. Beneath the crust is the mantle, which makes up over 80% of our Earth's volume. While crystals are busy growing in these cavities and cavernous spots within the crust, the surrounding environment is far from calm. Passageways open and then can collapse as the Earth shifts, and this puts an end to all crystal growth. However, the crystal simply sits dormant, and when another shift happens, which causes the passageway to reopen, growth can resume once more. This stop and start process can leave its mark on the crystals, leading to different color zones appearing on the crystal, a twinning effect in color composition, new layers that don't completely bond, and different minerals growing on top of each other too. The place where the magma and the crust meet is wild, potent in energy, and with constant movement. Parts of the crust break off into the magma and melt, having a knock-on effect on the surrounding magma as the chemistry changes. The bottom of the crust, which has been worn and torn by the magma, is full of nooks and crannies and cavities that provide the perfect environment for crystals to grow. High pressures and temperatures set the scene, and when the mineral-rich fluids seep into the crust fissures and cracks to cool, crystallization starts to happen. Of course, to get to a place where gemstones are sparkling beneath our feet, this whole process can take time, and as our Earth isn't a stable thing, there are many interruptions that can slow down the process of crystallization. Different minerals in the same crystal can happen when the cavity closes and reopens. As the environment where crystal growth happens isn't a stable place and sees big fluctuations in temperature, pressure, and even chemical buildup, when a passageway closes and later reopens, the new environmental factors can cause a whole different mineral crystal to start growing over existing material. This is where you get gorgeous examples of layered colors and textures like watermelon tourmaline or fluorite. Gemstone inclusions can also happen when the opening and closing of cavities. Sometimes a new crystal will start to grow on an already established stone, and then the growing process will be halted. Then, if the environment supports it, the older crystal will start to regrow and essentially swallow up the new crystal. 2 different minerals may also start to grow at the same time, but flourish at different speeds, which also ends up in one crystal overtaking and engulfing the other. You can see this in emeralds, for example, which have tiny pieces of pyrite inside. Temperature and environmental changes also cause some minerals to have impurities, which then go on to crystallize themselves. This is when the main mineral acts like a cavity itself, and the impurities crystallize and grow within the walls and space of that mineral. For example, this is how you get rutile stashed inside of a quartz crystal or corundum. Impurities can make all the difference within crystals. For example, a perfect diamond could only contain carbon atoms and maybe a few boron atoms. But if impurities or the wrong atom is found, it can change the diamond, and these impurities can even be one of the only things that separates a ruby from a sapphire. Another natural phenomenon that can occur is something called phantoms. Ghostly and glorious. This is when a transparent crystal gets a new layer from another crystal growing over it. This setup can be quite rare, as the old transparent crystal may also continue growing and can form a new layer of quartz, leaving a ghostly or shadowy specter of the other crystal sitting beneath the surface. Everything that happens in this part of the Earth's core is all about the big drama. Fire energy, cracks, collapses, It all adds up to a tumultuous place to be. This also makes for a challenging place for crystals to grow and means that many crystals end up broken or cracked in the process. Sometimes materials can seep into these cracks and fissures, which essentially heal the crystal and bond it once more. It creates a binding space for the crystal to fuse and grow together again. These healing fractures etched across the crystal are also called fingerprints by geologists. Each crystal has its own vibrational frequency, and this is a huge contributing factor to how crystals can help clear blockages in the chakras and help us to raise our own frequencies to achieve higher spiritual bliss. Ripe with energy, as old as time, and stashed with the secrets of the universe, crystals straddle the line between science and spirituality. Sparkling, shimmering, soft and silky, or hard as flint, crystals come in thousands of shapes and colors, and each bring its own unique moods and magical elements. For millions of years, crystals have been emerging from the earth, and connecting with these gems is a beautiful way to show our support and love for Mother Nature and to welcome healing and higher vibrations into our lives. So I left my camera recording my crystal garden as it grew last night. And it recorded for about 2.5 hours before it died into the night. So I've got about 2.5 hours of footage of it growing, of the trees growing. When I got up this morning, I was amazed. This is incredible. I friggin' grew crystals. Wait till you see this. Oh my gosh. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. Look, you guys, look. Oh my goodness. Amazing. Look at the crystals I grew. It literally looks just like the picture on the box. Oh my gosh. I am amazed. I am absolutely amazed. I grew crystals. Now these are very, very, very fragile. So like if you touch these, they can just crumble into dust. You know, crystals, the older they are and the harder they are compressed as they're being formed will make them hard. So this is just like, on the Mons hardness scale, this would be like maybe a half, 0.5. They are super, super fragile. I tried to just reach over and touch one, and I could tell instantly that if I went any further with it, it was going to break. But I am super impressed with how this turned out. Wow. What a cool little experiment. So it looks like this tree kind of fell over, so it's kind of leaning. But incredible that the colors came out. So it looks like the orange just kind of became this dingy white. Because the orange color definitely didn't come out, and that one right there should have been orange. Also, that one should have been orange. So the orange color, the green color, and the pink color. Now I see a little pink in here. This one right here is pink. But blue and purple and white. I think the pink is actually the white, maybe. I don't know. Super cool. What a cool, fun little project. Definitely worth the time. What do you guys think? Isn't it this not the stinking cutest little thing ever? Look at my little crystal forest garden. Awesome. Pleasantly surprised. How fun. Yep. I grew crystals. So thank you everyone who joined me on my crystal growing adventure. That was so much fun. I want to go out and get more crystal growing kits and make more crystals. I actually was not expecting it to be that successful. So pleasantly surprised and happy by how it turned out, and I had a lot of fun doing this project and sharing it with you guys. So thank you very much for being here with me during my crystal growing journey. And yeah, go out there and get yourself one of these kits and do this, because it's fun.